hello, everybody. All right, you guys, let's get ready to have this 90-day fiance chat with Dustin, Aaron, and Jonathan. We'll be right back after this intro.
Welcome to the Juice Radio Talk Show. 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 Reality TV, church reviews. Let's talk happy love and marriage lifestyle. Come and talk with us. Come and share with us. Come and laugh with us. Come on and pray with us.
Regina and Clovis, special guests. You should be following your lead. Bless. Subscribe on YouTube. Listen on podcasts. We live on IG and Facebook. This episode is sponsored by Truth and Triumph Ministries.
All right, everyone. Welcome back to the channel, the Juice Radio and Talk Show. This is our 90-day fiance chat with Dustin, Aaron, and Jonathan. You guys, let's talk about this review. But I want to say hello to the team here. Dustin, how you doing?
We're doing hanging in there. So I would appreciate it, Regina, after when we get done doing this live, if you could stay backstage. I need to talk to you about something real quick. And,
sure. Not a problem.
I need to talk to you about something real quick after we get done with the live.
Not a problem. I will do. Thank you, Dustin. Aaron, how are you doing with your cute? Come on, St. Patrick's Day. Come on, St. Patty's.
Yes, with the flowers in the hair. I love it.
Got to do it upright.
Yes.
Hi, Aaron. Hi.
I love it, Aaron. That is so cute. Listen, I did not get my corned beef today. I did not. I need to find
corned beef hash.
Corned beef. You know, corned beef. They get a corned beef and cabbage. You know, for St. Patrick's.
Oh yes.
I didn't get it. Jonathan, how you doing?
I'm doing great. We had just had a great reality show, and now I'm excited to get to this finale of the 90-day fiance. I don't know what it's called, a reunion of sorts. Tell all. Thank you. And I have to say, Sean Robinson really showed her hosting and questioning skills in this particular episode, and I don't know how I feel about it necessarily, but she was good at what she was doing. Absolutely.
Listen, she's the queen of it. She's the queen of it. She is. I love it. Dustin, where we start today? Hey, Reality with Krista Marie. Thank you for being here, beautiful.
Well, I do want to start with saying something about Sloan Robertson. She is my favorite host. She is my favorite host to doing these tell-alls. She really brings that out on all these people. So I'm so excited to have her back this tell-all, and I can't wait for the next one. And I was gonna say, some of these couples, they are driving me up the you know what. These couples need to get some therapy, and that's how I feel about that. They need to work. They need to also get some mental health therapy.
Well, Dustin come out swinging, child. Dustin come out swinging. He hold it back. Aaron, listen, Aaron. Oh my goodness, Aaron, you are the queen of change. Listen, Aaron works these outfits better than people that are on stage. She is now is it the leprechaun? Look at how cute this is.
Yes, it is.
I love it. Aaron with your cute hat and bow tie. You and your sister, y'all just need to have a story with all this stuff. Tell me what's your thoughts about this tell-all.
First of all, I loved how Sean Roberts stopped things when people were getting too emotional to really take care of their mental health. And I think he needs to be applauded for that because that was amazing. And I love that she put the person before the show.
Right. Exactly.
I love that you said that, Aaron. The person before the show. That's powerful.
Yeah,
I love
you,
that.
Aaron. Thank you.
Yeah, and what she was doing, what Sean was doing, is letting people know. Listen, she's been doing this long enough to know that this can really take a toll on the mental. So I love that you did that too. Jonathan, chime in.
I really did like this particular episode. I know we'll get further into specifics, but I wasn't appreciating the way that it seemed like everyone was ganging up on Justin / Igor. I understand why they felt the way that they did. I understand their stance on it, and I understand everyone wanting to support Nikki. However, they're only seeing seeing it from Nikki's point of view, and it seems like they're refusing to see it from Justin's point of view. They feel like Nikki is the only one that's right in the situation, whereas Justin is the bad guy. And I hated that it painted that picture on this particular episode. We'll get into more specifics, but I didn't necessarily that was the thorn in my side during this reunion, to be honest. Again, I understand why it was somewhat valid, but at the same time, you still have to see both sides of the issue.
You do. Hello, Latoya. Thank you for being back as well. Now, Erin, she's so good. Let me tell you, she's so good. She gave me notes, y'all. Oh, I love her. I love Erin. So you guys, Dustin, we're gonna start with you. You want to start with Gino, Dustin?
Yeah, we're gonna start with Gino. We're gonna start with Gino and Jasmine. I was so angry. I think that he was acting very childish and very disrespectful towards Jasmine at the beginning of the tell-all. It was really, really sad. Really, it was really it was really emotional for me because I felt like Jasmine does everything. She's doing most everything she could do for this marriage, and I just feel like that he ain't putting his 2 cents into it. I think that he expects her to do it all, but yet he don't want to help her. But that's what I can say. That's how I feel, and everybody else they might have a different opinion, but that's just how I feel. I hope they make it through it. But I told Aaron last night. I'll say it again. They need to have therapy.
Ooh. Okay, now I'm not mad at you. Aaron, what's your thoughts on Gino and Jasmine? Now, Gino was really, really crying heavy when she saw this video that surfaced. And she's really into, being upset. Aaron, what's your thoughts on this couple?
Now, Jasmine did get emotional and she had a breakdown. And as she said, she had an emotional breakdown. But I love that when she did pull herself together, she tried to listen. I don't know if she listened to I don't want to call her stripper, but I think that's what she was. Mm-hmm. The lady who represented the company of the night. And I thought that she tried to listen and get some of the facts. Whether she cared for her opinions was more what I think Jasmine didn't want. Give me the facts and I don't care what your opinion is. Right. So I like that she tried. I like that we learned that Gino's ex was a stripper because it put more limelight onto why this upset Jasmine so much and hit her so deep, because we know in the past Gino has talked about his exes. The same as she talked about one ex, he's talked about many exes in the past. So put that in clarity. So I understood why she was emotional. I was proud of her for sitting back on the stage. I was more proud that she came out and was respectful and said, "I'm sorry, I walked off." So I just love Jasmine, and when Gino finally sat down one-on-one with Jasmine, even though he didn't want to apologize, which made me mad, he did end up seeing Jasmine's side, but I'm still mad about the way he did it because
I think
it didn't feel heartfelt to me.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that he needs to apologize to her. I'm on the same boat with you on that one. He needs to apologize to her, and they need to get some help. That's what they did. Why didn't he apologize to her to tell all in front of all them people? Well, then he was acting like that he was acting very foolish, and I didn't like it. To me.
Agreed.
Well, we will see what happens with him. Jonathan, let me get your thought on this couple.
Yeah, I was still frustrated seeing that Gino never got up out of his seat while Jasmine was having her breakdown. He never got out of his seat. It didn't even seem like he cared that she was over there having a breakdown. And I understand that maybe he's desensitized to Jasmine's blow-ups because she seems to do it very often. So I understand why he may not be affected by it, but you can still give the illusion that you care. You can still give the illusion that you love her. You can still give the illusion that you want to reach out to her and at least do the right thing when you know that's the right thing to do. Now, as far as this whole letter that that Jasmine read to the entire cast, saying that, oh, I was the one with the lip gloss in his car, and I was the stripper and all that good stuff. I don't believe that whatsoever. I'm pretty sure that
I
that
don't
was a
either,
fan
Jonathan.
of the show. I'm pretty sure that that was some random person. I don't put any validity into that. But Jasmine is the type of reality star that is drama for drama's sake. I do think that she overreacts for the sake of drama. I do think that she overreacts sometimes for the sake of the TV show. But that's what's good for reality TV, and that's why I love Jasmine, because she knows how to do it and she knows how to do it right. It does get a little bit annoying after a while. You know what I'm saying? At least a little bit. You know, it is a bit much, but Jasmine is a bit much. That's just who she is. So I can at least accept that. But much like Dustin was saying, I've been saying this since the beginning, that it doesn't seem like Gino is putting in nearly enough effort. It seems like he's putting in less than 25% of his 100% effort that he could be giving. And that is going to continue to frustrate me as long as Jasmine is with him, because I just feel like Jasmine deserves a man who's going to put his 100% in, because Jasmine is always putting in 100%, at least in my eyes.
Jasmine needs somebody. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Aaron. I'm sorry. Oh, I was gonna go ahead. I was saying I was gonna agree with Jonathan on that one. She needs somebody that's gonna do 100% each way.
Right.
She needs to do 100%, and she needs somebody else that needs to have 100%. But this 25 and 20, this 25 and 100, this ain't gonna work.
No, it's not.
25 and 75 ain't gonna work. Aaron, what's your thought? You had your finger up, the church finger. What's up, Aaron?
Oh, no, I was agreeing with Jonathan. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good. Reality with Chris Marie said, this seems to be a pattern and poor Jasmine doesn't deserve this. She also says that this is why she keeps breaking down. He just needs to comfort her. Trust me. I am like that, Jasmine. And she's also she keeps putting up with the blankety blank from Gino. And yes, his emotional depth isn't matching hers, and it's going to keep triggering her. I feel for her. Now, here's what I'm going to say about these two. I'm like Jonathan too. She keeps doing this. This is over and over and over again.
Over and over again.
The reason why she keeps doing it is because he's not addressing it to where there can be a resolve for it. Exactly. And one of the reasons why I think that he is not addressing it is because, one, he's afraid to deal with that repercussion again. And another thing, I don't think he's been taught as a man how to comfort and be in a place where she won't get triggered again. And so that's what therapy comes into place. Therapy would teach you how to handle those situations and deal with them. His thought is, I'm going to sit right here because I don't want to deal with her. She'll calm down. Eventually, she'll come back. And her thing is, he's not even coming back here to see, to check on me. He's not giving me that emotional support that I need. So they need to have somebody sit down with the two of them and say, listen, this is what's going on with the two of you. Or somebody need to give my channel so they can listen to all of you. Say, listen, you guys, this is what's going on. When she storms off, she wants you to come there. But he's saying, I'm tired of the storm. I'm tired of the crying. So you got to find out where that balance is. Now, Jasmine and this bachelor party and all this stuff, she has every right to be upset with Gino. I think she has a right.
Yes, she does. Yes, she does.
Jasmine did her wrong to Gino in other ways, so it's coming back to her in a different way. She don't like it, but she's done her wrong to Gino as well. And that's why in marriage you got to be honest and true to each other, because when it comes back, it's not going to come back the way you think it looks.
Yeah, it seems like the difference is when Jasmine does her wrong to Gino, tends not to address it. Whereas when Gino does wrong to Jasmine, Jasmine always addresses those wrongs. And so that seems to be the disconnect between the two.
But that's what women do. We're outspoken. We're going to tell you how we feel. But then men don't really know how to reciprocate the same. And then men, I'm just speaking from me and my husband. Sometimes my husband's like, okay, let me just let her have her fit. And then 3 or 4 days later, I'll say something. But I want him to say something in the moment of me having my fit.
Right.
But he won't do that because his thing is, let me give you your time. And that's his thought process. So I had to learn it. And it took years of marriage for me to learn. Just because he's not coming in the room at the moment when I'm having my fit does not mean he doesn't love me. It takes him 3 or 4 days to really get that through his head and figure out what I'm going to do. It takes him that much time. And maybe that's what's going on with Gino also. I don't know. Reality said therapy doesn't mean someone is wrong or right. Teach them how to communicate and explain each other's side. And she said he lied and he knows what she isn't gonna be okay with. And
Right.
Erin put this up here. She said, very true reality with Chris Marie. And also Krista said, just because they have a therapist isn't to help them understand each other's side without it being misunderstood. So they've got to find a way that they can have this open communication. Jasmine, why were you hurt? And instead of her yelling at Gino, you got to be able to have a conversation where he's going to hear what you are saying. Because men can get the Charlie Brown teacher syndrome. You could be yelling and having all this stuff, and all they hear is wah, 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 wah. They're not going to hear it. So she's got to be able to calmly say, like, thank you, Holy Spirit. Like when they were in the bathroom and they were talking, and he was telling her, I didn't like that you got this money from the guy. You're going to have to give up that friendship. They weren't yelling. They were having a calm conversation. Gino heard her, she heard Gino, and they resolved it and they moved on, and it was beautiful. That's where they have to get to. Go ahead, Aaron.
No.
Aaron's like, I ain't touching that one.
I was going to say, Regina, I'm a lot like Clovis, where me being a Libra, we tend to avoid confrontation at all points, at all costs. We really don't. And I would probably do the same thing that Clovis was doing, give you your space, because sometimes in those moments, he may not know what to say in those moments. He may not know how to address those moments. Maybe because if it doesn't involve him, he may not know how to, get in there in a way. So I understand, why us men do that, because we typically don't like the drama, or at least we say that we don't like the drama. But I understand that. But that's what goes on in a relationship, and you have to work that out in some way.
Yeah, and I think also part of where my husband, I don't know if this is for Gino, but in the relationship, I think sometimes the men are afraid that if they do say something, they're going to cause more hurt. So sometimes we have to have enough time to say, okay, let me try and figure out how I'm going to do this. We women feel like men move too slow.
The last thing you want to do,
protecting us.
The last thing you want to do, as especially a Black man with a Black woman, is say the wrong thing. Because when you say the wrong thing, that can send that woman sky high, straight to the roof. So I get the apprehension of I want to give her space, let her do what she do, and I'm gonna just stay over here in my corner. Yes, I understand that. It's a balancing act. It really is.
It is. Aaron, the letter does not seem real. What was that?
Oh, Jasmine came in with a letter in the back room, and Jonathan had talked about this, that there was a letter left at her doorstep with panties in it, and a letter saying that she had been with Gino the night of after the strip club, and that the lip gloss in the car was hers, and she could have the panties now, and she could use her imagination.
Oh, Jasmine.
Fake to me, all fake.
So
it probably was. Latoya, I got what you're saying. You cracked me up with this comment. She says you caught me off guard with the Charlie Brown teacher reference. Yeah, I don't think now Gino's reference as far as the lipstick. I've had this car a long time. It could have been. Listen, I go in my husband's car and there's some under the seat for my car too. But here it is again too. You got to have a level of trust.
Right
now, and eventually, let me tell you, y'all keep living long enough and staying married long enough, you're gonna find out the truth. God's gonna reveal the truth.
Right. So, and I feel like there's some dirt behind that lip gloss that was in his car. And I think that's something that we will never know the full truth about, because Gino will never tell it to us. But I think it might not be a big pile of dirt, but it's a little bit of something behind that lip gloss that he's not telling us for a reason.
You saying it's a stain somewhere, Jonathan? No, it's a stain.
It's something in the milk ain't clean now. I'm not saying it's completely spoiled, but something ain't right. At least not with me.
Go ahead, Dustin.
While I'm thinking about it, Regina, I do want to say happy birthday to your husband.
Thank you.
Happy birthday to Clovis, and I hope he had a good happy birthday, and hope that things get better for you.
Yeah, shout out to the Pisces out there. Pisces season is still in effect.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate that, Dustin. So Igor and Nikki. Oh my goodness. Now, Jonathan, come on, Dustin. Tell me your thoughts. I'm gonna go right to Jonathan.
I felt bad for Nicole, or whatever you want to call her, Nicole or Nikki. I felt bad for her because I felt like she was taking taking for a ride this whole season.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I think he did
So true.
all this for the show, and this just basically proved my theory from
Mm-hmm.
episode one to the last one. And I don't like to see her. I don't like to see anybody broke down like that in a
No.
tell all or
Mm-mm.
in regular day life.
Yeah.
But I hope she gets happiness with
Yes.
somebody else, and I hope that she doesn't. I hope that she's not so desperate. I hate to say the word desperate, but it kind of made
Yeah.
me feel like she was desperate. But sometimes when you're too desperate, it comes when you don't want it to.
Mm.
It stuff happen when you don't want it to when you're too desperate. So you gotta let you gotta let the person up there upstairs you gotta let God guide you in everything, Regina.
That's right,
And
Dustin.
you gotta let the person upstairs guide you in your life. Just like they guided me to this channel over here. And I'm gonna say this real quick. Uh, Regina, I don't know if you know this or not, but I do feel the most comfortable on your
Oh.
channel.
Oh.
And you guys always welcome me with love, and I do feel the most comfortable over here with my team. And so
Oh.
I just want to let you know that.
That's
Oh
And
my
awesome.
goodness, all the love. Thank you, Dustin.
you're welcome.
I love it. See, I'm telling you. See, more band-aids for my bruises. I love y'all.
Yes.
Thank you, Dustin. Listen, we
You're
love you
welcome.
over here too, Dustin. You get me motivated and going, and I love doing this 90 day. And if it was not for you, we wouldn't even be doing 90 day. But I love
Right.
that you're comfortable over here, and that's what we want this platform to be about: the comfort, the unity, the love, the inclusion. We love that. We love, love, love.
Hmm.
Thank you, Dustin. My heart is.
I never felt as comfortable as I do on anybody else's panels except for yours. So I
I
do
love.
I do appreciate that, and I love you guys, and I'll do anything for you guys over here. So if
We
that goes
love
for
you too.
Jonathan, Aaron, everything. So if you guys need anything, you guys know where to ask me or where to get me to.
Oh, we love you, and
Awesome.
we know
Yes.
you love the our co pep, we call them co panels channels as well. Krista and Diva and all that. We know you love her too, but it's always something like my husband. My husband has like 20 pillows on his bed, and they all serve a purpose. But there's one that he just cannot do without. So I kind of feel what you're saying, Dustin. It
Yeah.
does not mean that he doesn't like all the other pillows too, but there's just one that if he does not have that one amongst the others, it makes a difference. And I love it. And we all comfort to each other. With Krista Marie, I love, love, love when you're on her channel as well. Diva, I love, love, love when you're on her channel as well. And I met you
Uh,
through Diva's channel. So I love
Mhm.
that connection is there too. And
yeah,
Erin as well. Yes. So we love you. Erin is saying in the chat she love you. Reality is saying she love you too, Dustin.
Yes. Love
We
you,
love it.
Dustin.
Listen, I love when the
I
channel
love you,
turn into
Jonathan. I love you,
mush
Jonathan.
and love.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna come over here to Jonathan about these two, Nikki and Igor. Now let me tell you, Igor finally found out what Jonathan had been saying all along. He is not trans attractive.
Mhm.
He finally said it. Somebody must have sent him your clip.
He says, I don't want to. I'm sorry to interrupt you, John, but
Mhm.
he should have said that from day one. Yeah, Regina, don't you agree?
Yes, that's what Jonathan has been screaming. You're not. You're not. Go ahead, Jonathan. Tell us your side.
I'm having a little bit of a conundrum here because for this entire season I've been riding for Justin with the until the wheels fall off. But watching this particular episode of the reunion, it came to me that Justin has really kind of been stringing Nikki along the entire time. Although Nikki has been strung along willingly, understanding where he stands, sort of, kind of, even though Justin has, I don't want to say he's been lying to her, but he's been kind of misleading her and sending
Mhm.
her mixed signals, trying to make it
Uh-huh.
seem as if he is really interested in her and the way that she wants him to be interested, still having relations with her, and as if they are still a couple, even to a couple of weeks ago when she went over to Moldova for his
Right?
birthday, she was still engaging in sexual activity with him after he had broken up with her over text, making her feel as though they were still together. So Justin has been playing a game with Nikki. Not exactly sure what his true intentions are with her. I do want to believe that he wants to get back to that place where they were before he found out that she was trans. That's what I'm going to hold on to not think that he's just not think that he's just an F boy, like a lot of these men can be, but he's showing F boy tendencies a whole lot. And the fact that he didn't answer the question directly when Ashley asked him, were you cheating on Nikki while you guys were still together? He never really answered that question directly. And I think he did that purposefully. However, I still did not appreciate it seeming like Jasmine and Ashley specifically really jumping on Justin's back for the way that he's kind of treated her. But again, I understand why they feel that way, because Nikki's over here crying, saying that he never loved her. And I love the fact that her mother asked him straight up, were you ever in love with Nikki? Were you ever actually in love with her? And I do think that he was in love with her at one point in time, but I think that point in time was before he found out that he was trans. And I feel as though that in love part of himself kind of went away when he found out that she was trans, because he's not a trans attracted man. And I feel as though he might have had the vocabulary before this particular reunion, before he told her that he wasn't trans attracted. I feel like he knew that that was a possibility, and maybe he wanted to try to hold on to something, and maybe he felt like he might have gotten some type of breakthrough somewhere along the way. I think he's hoping that some way his love for her is going to come back. And I appreciate his effort, but you're still stringing someone else, an innocent bystander, along while you're trying to figure your thing out. See, that's why I don't want to be with the DL man, because I don't have time to deal with your uncertainty about who you are. I don't have time to deal with that, because I spent my own time trying to come to terms with who I am. And how I'm going to love myself in the way that I'm going to do. I appreciate your struggle, because I went through that same exact struggle. However, I don't think I have the time to go through that struggle with someone else, especially when I know who I am and I love who I am. But for Justin and Nikki, I'm glad that he told her to get rid of the visa, to just stop it. I'm glad that he made that point clear to her, so that she's still not up in the air thinking whether she should go through with this visa. I'm glad that he told her that straight up. No, don't do the visa. I'm not going to go through with the interview. I'm not going to do that. I'm glad that he was straightforward with her in that sense, so that he's still not stringing her along, making her think that there's a possibility that they could be together. I still think Nikki's going to try to be with Justin. She's still going to try. I don't think Nikki's ever going to stop trying to be with him. And that's just
that's going to be on her, whatever
truth for her. And that's what she's choosing to do. She's going to choose to do that. And she's going to bring, of course, again, all of this heartache upon herself. She knows what she's doing. And, that's why I cannot feel sorry for her. I don't feel sorry for Nikki at all, really. I really don't, because she as a trans woman, you understand how these men think. You understand how they operate. And so this should not be any surprise to you whatsoever. Yes, the emotions are still valid. Yes, the emotions are still real. It's just that I have the opportunities to choose as to whether I'm going to feel sorry for you or not. And I just choose not to feel sorry for her. I'm sorry. I just don't.
I'm gonna come down to Erin on this and get her opinion on this. Erin, what's your thoughts on Igor and Nikki? You feel sorry for Nikki?
I actually feel sorry for both of them. And through this reunion, even though Igor came off terrible with the other ladies and everything like that, I actually thought it was more out of fear. He's trying to prove that he is a man. He's trying to prove that he is straight, even though he has been with a trans woman. I think he has this mindset and fear from where he's from. He said they're very ignorant there. And I think the fear of coming out with all this has got him kind of backed up against the wall, sort of say. And I thought most of his actions were out of fear in this reunion. So I didn't take it as personally, because I was watching him, and I don't think he could find the words. But when he was asked, does he love Nikki? He said always. And I think there is a truth to that. I just think the love has changed, but I think there is still love there. He just doesn't want to accept the new kind of love it is, which is probably not a romantic love anymore.
Right.
But I
Yeah.
think he does love her in his own way, and I think that's hard to accept a change when you wanted it a certain way and it's not there anymore. I
Right.
think
Yeah.
that's it. I did not think he was that. I disagree with Jonathan on the visa thing because yes, he said yes, you can get rid of the visa, but that was when he was arguing with people. I can totally see him texting her later and saying no, don't get rid of the visa.
I'm sure he would. I wouldn't be
Really?
surprised if he did.
I did not agree with that he was definite about it. I thought he was like, hey, I'm angry, I'm going to say it, kind of in anger. And so, and I don't know that he's stringing her along or she's stringing him along. I think it's both of them. And I think it's a 50-50 blame in their relationship. I think we clearly saw the other side of Igor now that Nikki had described during the season that we weren't seeing. So it was all there. And
Right.
I'm glad we got to see that part of Igor because it doesn't make him the perfect man and she's not at all fault. They are both to blame and they will be both to blame as they continue this bad relationship because I think it will. Because Igor said when he was asked, are they done? He wasn't sure.
Right.
He's like, time will tell.
They need to
So,
they need to
I see them being in this circle for a long, long time, and I think we'll probably see them back again.
Well,
Agreed.
we saw Gino and Jasmine in the same circle. Now we saw them at the altar. So you know,
I want to ask a question to the panel really quickly. Ashley seemed to be offended by the fact that Igor referred to Nikki's mannish ways or her being her masculine side coming out. And Ashley was saying to say that to a trans woman is the most disrespectful thing that you can do. Here's my point of view coming from a person in the LGBTQIA plus community. I understand how that may sound offensive, especially for a trans woman. However, when that's the energy that he's feeling and English not being his first language, that's the only way that he can put it. He's just speaking freely and truthfully about his feelings towards her in those moments. I didn't take offense to it. I understand why someone would take offense to it, especially with her being a trans woman. But that's literally how he feels in the moment. How does everyone else feel about that? I'm interested.
I felt like.
Go ahead.
I felt like that was going on a little bit too. I kind of agree with Ashley on that because I felt like that was going a little bit too. I felt like he was basically holding it in, so she was holding it in, and I felt like she needed to say that in the beginning anyway because I felt like get it out in the open. That's how you feel. Say it, you know. I don't hold stuff back. I say what I gotta say, and I I say what I gotta say, and I get it over with.
Right.
What do you get for holding it back? Don't hold it back at the tell-all because that's what you're there for. You're there to basically tell what you all think. So just tell them what you think, and you don't have to like it. But I kind of agree with her on that one. The way that he was treating Nikki, I didn't agree with it. To tell all.
Well, Reality said this. She said, I love hearing Jonathan's point of view on Nikki and Igor, and I feel like it's all about your intentions, and his intentions weren't malicious, in my opinion. Thank you,
Correct.
Reality.
Agreed.
Thank you. She also said he's just having a hard time communicating his emotions, I feel. And you know what, Krista, you could be right because that could be the cultural difference too. With that whole thing. So I get that also. But I think what Nikki has to understand is she has to know her worth, she has to know her value, and she has to understand she does not need to try and place or insert herself somewhere where she's not getting full acceptance. And I think she looked at this relationship as a challenge that she was going to defeat. I think that's probably part of what she was looking at too. She was going to defeat this challenge. And for her not to win is probably part of her hurt.
Yes.
So she's got to, like Aaron said, both of them have their parts of wrong in this whole relationship. And I will have to say, I do think that Igor was playing her because he knew the show was there. We knew that allegedly she said that he needed money because she was helping him financially. And maybe his thought was, this is the way I can become a famous celebrity. I can get this money and all this. So they have played with her emotions also to be part of the show. And now that he's out there and he's, probably got all these followers on social media and all that, he probably feels as though he doesn't need her anymore. And also he could feel as though he's embarrassed in a sense because he did have the relations with her, knowing that she is not a woman per se.
Biological woman, yes.
Biological woman. Thank you, Jonathan. So he's got a lot that he's dealing with also. But they both, I think, played each other. And I both think that they disrespected each other with them knowing their hearts really wasn't for real. And so, maybe now they'll separate and they'll get to a point or a place where they can find real love and really enjoy it. Go ahead, Aaron.
Agreed.
To answer Jonathan's question, I actually thought it was really hurtful what Igor said about the masculine man vibes. And I thought that because as a woman, if somebody says you're masculine and stuff like that, it's offensive. So I can't imagine as a trans woman, because men use that to attack women all the time. You're being all masculine and stuff.
Yes.
So I saw it from that standpoint. And then to think that she's a trans woman, that's probably even more hurtful.
Right.
So
you're right,
I thought that was cruel of him to do. And I think he knew what he was doing because he had done enough studies. So that one I do think he did on purpose.
Yeah,
I thought Ashley was right.
Great. That's a great point too, Aaron. He probably was wanting to really hit her heart and knowing that she's done so much to hide or take away that masculinity and for it to be thrown in her face again, that probably is part of her insecurity.
Right.
And that hit different than any other comment he probably could have gave her. And he probably knew what he was doing. Just like when he was like, where's the eject button? Let me eject you. He knows, he's calculating and he's smart enough and he interprets enough to know that was going to hit her the way it did. Reality said it's going to get messy if they don't realize this is toxic.
It does. And Regina, I want to address something that you mentioned about Nikki seeing this as a challenge. This is a trope that goes on in the LGBTQIA plus community where some of us feel like we can turn someone out, where we can be the one to turn out a straight person. And there's no such thing. Your sexuality is what it is. You can't change someone's sexuality 20 years into their life, 15 years into their life, 30 years into their life, 40 years into their life. If they're interested in you, there's nothing in you that changed their minds as far as their sexuality is concerned because you're just that girl or you're just that boy. That's not it. You are who you are. They are who they are. Y'all come into this from a certain standpoint, but there's no way that you yourself can make someone interested in your sex because of who you are. That is not possible. I just wanted to put that out there.
No possible.
And that's why the whole DL thing is such a big thing in the gay community, because we still see these DL men as heterosexual men, although what they do with us in the bedroom is nowhere near heterosexual. But that's the reason why they're looked at in such a gleaming light, because they're kind of the fantasy, because they give off that heterosexual side that we're so attracted to in a way. And we feel like we're kind of the reason why they are doing these gay things because of us. No, it's because that's how they've been feeling for a long time. And they want to act out those sexual, those sexual preferences. Right.
Now, I've heard that too. And Jonathan, we're going to have a more in-depth conversation about stuff like this here on the Juice Radio Talk Show, because I've heard about that also. It's almost as though you're looked at as a trophy trying to be obtained. And they do a lot of that with pastors. Now, if one of them can get a pastor, that's a really big trophy.
That's a notch on the belt.
So yeah, we are going to talk about that. It's a real thing. And now Reality says right, that Jonathan. She also agrees. Let's go on to Dustin. Where are we going next? Are we going to Citra and Sam?
I want to go to Nick and Devin first before I go to Citra and Sam, if that's okay.
Sure, let's do it.
I still am very disappointed with everybody calling her Peggy, because that's still, even though he apologized to her and stuff like that, but that still is very not okay with me. It don't sit well with me still to this day, and it will never sit well with somebody calling people uh, a, a piggy when you are not in the same uh, country, and he didn't come from the United. He's not from the United States. He's in uh, another continent, and it's a lot different to where he was at before. But now it's not. It's a lot different in the United States than America, Nick.
Mm-hmm.
And I still don't like it that way. Now, come on, I'm not gonna like it anytime soon, and I'm gonna stay that way. It really doesn't matter to me that he apologized. I'm glad he apologized, but you still need to stop calling her that, and that's on television.
I love it. Thank you so much.
Stop. How about stop calling her that? Period.
Period.
Stop calling
Exactly.
her that. Period. That's not. That's not right.
Thank you. Absolutely, Dustin. Now, Erin with her beautiful notes, because I had missed this part because I was busy, but I'm here. Erin listen, Erin said Nick got a job in Atlanta and Devin didn't move yet.
Right.
Wow. Listen, Nick is like, he's like, I'm out of here. I'm out of here. I'm going to the
Well,
big
well,
city. The
well.
big
I
city.
think this part. This is the part uh, I. This is the part that I kind of seen at the very end here, and I think that he's going to move in with her. I think they're all going to come back together again. But I just think that he's trying to find a job out there.
Yeah,
But
it's better.
he's having trouble finding a job out there that would make comfortable living wages. And he also revealed at the very end. He said he wants to have a baby with
Mm-hmm.
Devin, but Devin only said, yeah, if you start making a lot of money, we might consider it, but we're gonna have to make some money before we think about that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they can make the money if they find the right jobs over here. Nick has a lot of opportunities, I think, over here in Atlanta, to do that. And also, Atlanta probably looks more closer to where he's from than
Mm-hmm.
where he is now with Devin. And I would have to
In
think that the job of
Arkansas.
employment in Arkansas, I would have to think that Arkansas, the opportunities of employment are going to be
There's
really
not.
different from
I
that's
Mm-hmm.
over
don't.
here in Atlanta. So,
I don't
but
think. I don't think there. Oh, I'm sorry. I don't think
no,
there's a lot of. I don't think there's a lot of places in Arkansas that he would want to work for, and I don't think there's a lot of. I don't think there's a lot of opportunities in Arkansas.
my
For
Mm-hmm.
concern
him.
is if he moves Devin to Atlanta, what would that look like for her?
Yeah.
Right.
That's my concern because Atlanta
Yeah.
is we not the city. We're not the little country town. We the city out here, and
Yeah.
things run a lot faster
And I just
out here.
wonder. I wonder how she would adapt to that bigger change.
Right?
She
How would she
she's
adapt?
she's used to being in the countryside, the country where you don't have all that, have all the hustle and bustle, basically, or what I'm
Right.
trying to say. But you don't have all that hustle and bustle in the country, but you do in the city part.
That's
But
right.
you don't
Mm-hmm.
have all that. You don't have all that in there. No, you don't have all the hustle and bustle in the country.
Whole different
Right.
world. Aaron, what's your thoughts on Nick and Devin?
I love that Nick took the initiative to get his green card right away. He pushed Devin and him to fill out the paperwork the day after the wedding, he said. I
Mm-hmm.
love that. That was awesome. I like that he's the only one that submitted the paperwork out of all the couples that are on the stage.
The only one.
I'm surprised. I'm surprised. I'm surprised. At or Gino and Jasmine didn't do it yet. I thought, to be honest with you, everybody on the panel, I thought Gino and Jasmine would be the first ones to do it before anybody else.
Listen, that lets me know I'm gonna come back down to Aaron to finish her statement, but Nick is about his business. That much I
Okay.
can say because
Okay.
he wasn't even on a lot of the episodes.
Yeah.
So
No, he
go ahead,
wasn't. He,
go ahead,
oh,
Aaron.
To go off what Dustin's saying, I think Gino, because she was like, Gino has to be a part of doing the paperwork, and I think Gino would be afraid of her filling out that paperwork, finding a job, and leaving his butt. So I'm not sure that That paperwork getting filled out anytime soon.
Okay, and that's the true tea, honey. Okay, if you
I'm
didn't
sorry. I had to say it. So that paperwork will be done last. The next reunion couples will have their paperwork before Jasmine does. People we
know.
haven't met
Okay.
yet will have their paperwork.
Next thing you know, Jasmine will be in Miami living it up, honey. Okay.
That's what you need to be, Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
To get back to Devin and Nick, I like Devin and Nick. I do worry that they both are living separately and they're happy because they're both introverts. I was like, ooh, that's concerning to me. When she said, no, we're both happy, we're both introverts, and now, give us our alone time. And I was like, no, you shouldn't want alone time the first year of marriage, honey. That's not good. But I like that she is thinking that they have to be financially sound before having kids. He has to be financially sound before she's gonna move her butt all the way to Atlanta.
That's right.
She's not living in a hotel with dogs and stuff, she said, so he has to get a place. And I think he will, because I don't see Nick not wanting his wife to be separate than him for a long time. Even if they are introverts, he's like, no, you got to be with me.
Right.
So,
but it's also eye-opening to me, Aaron, that they are apart in the first year of marriage, because to me that's a red flag to even be apart when you are a freshly married couple.
Well, I would say this: if you have to be apart for the first year of marriage because he's trying to get work, that's okay and that's acceptable. The uncomfortable part I have is that they're both comfortable with not being together. That's the issue.
That's the part that
not being together, then that makes me think, what were you uncomfortable in the relationship with that now you're comfortable that he and you are not together?
That you don't have now, right?
Yes. Go ahead, Jonathan. You wanted to speak on these two?
I do love Nick and Devin. I love the fact that Nick apologized for calling Devin piggy. And I love the fact that he said that he won't do it again. Do I believe that he won't do it again? Absolutely not. I'm pretty sure that, on their way home, he was calling her piggy, piggy, piggy. So, but the issue is when Devin doesn't share with him her true feelings about the fact that he calls her piggy, he's not going to get the impact that it should take for him to actually genuinely say, I'm never going to call you piggy again. But because Devin simply refuses to tell him straight up, I don't like the fact that you call me piggy. It hurts my feelings. It hurts my heart. It doesn't feel like you're making an endearing statement towards me, or it doesn't feel like you're calling me cute, which is obviously what Nick was trying to say the whole time. That's just another way of calling her cute. Well, because she doesn't receive it that way, if it's not going to give you that effect, it's not going to give me the effect that you're trying to give me, then obviously you should stop doing that. But I love the fact that he made the gesture of apologizing to her in front of her parents, nonetheless, and on TV. So I love the fact that he did that. But I think it's very telling that Nick got a job in Atlanta. I think it shows us that he's not interested in living in Arkansas, which I completely understand. I completely understand why he made that decision. So I think it will be interesting to see how Devin adjusts to being in Atlanta, because she does come across as a very small country, small town type of girl. So I don't know how that will work for them. However, if this does cause them to separate, I still see both of them being very happy at the same time. I don't see this being a contentious breakup. I do see them breaking up on good terms. I do see this as a good thing for both of them, and both of them actually seeing this as a tunnel to broaden their horizons and really step into their life the way that it's supposed to be done. I really see Nick as a go-getter. I really see Nick as someone who goes out and gets what he wants. And because Devin doesn't come across as that type of woman, I see that maybe causing a rift between them, and seeing Devin lag behind, whereas Nick is going forward. I don't know how that's going to look for their relationship, but I'm just hoping the best for them, whether they're together or not.
I want to say this too, with people who are just getting married or people who are dating. If your significant other is doing something or saying something or calling you names that you are not comfortable with, but you only giggle because you feel as though, well, they really don't mean it. Like Alicia, she said, well, he was just joking. You need to stop that stuff at the moment it happens. because if you don't, it will continue and it would eventually get worse. Or it'll happen like what's happening with Nick and Devin. I have to think when he first called her Piggy, what was her reaction? That I would have to
Right.
think about. And did she feel okay? That's uncomfortable, but to him, he's just he's just joking. What was her feeling at that point? And has it gone on so long now that he's gotten comfortable with it, and she's still very uncomfortable, so much to the point that she's uncomfortable to tell them that she's uncomfortable. So
And I feel like
things that go on.
I feel like the reason why she doesn't tell him how it makes her feel is because she doesn't want him to feel bad about calling her a certain name that is offensive to her. But at the same time, that's your husband. So you have to be able to have that conversation with him and speak truly and freely about your feelings towards that, because making someone feel uncomfortable for that moment will make you feel more comfortable down the line.
Now, here's the other part to that. They had this conversation when they were on one of the episodes with the parents, and the father said, I don't like you calling her Piggy. I don't like this. And he was like, oh, okay, I guess he wasn't going to do it anymore. But now we're at the reunion and we're still talking about it. And you're still saying you're still calling her Piggy. So you're still disrespecting her. You're doing it because you're comfortable with it. She's still not comfortable with it, but you want to do it because that's what he wants to do. Now, she's going to have to really put her foot down if she's really uncomfortable with it. And if she's not, then she's going to have to keep on just putting up with it. But let me tell you how I did when I first met my husband. I had been through 2 failed relationships, 2 failed marriages before. I laid the law down when we were dating. In the first process of us dating, I will not be this. I will not do this. You will not do this. You're not doing that. I laid it down. And I said, if you can't follow none of those, then we just going to call this a friendship and that's it. And we going to keep it moving. And I had to let him know what I would tolerate and what I wouldn't tolerate. And you have to think of the spirit. You have to be brave enough as an individual to tell the person that you want to spend your life with. Listen, these are my guidelines. And if you can't fit them, I'm not going to alter them. I'm not altering them. I'm not altering this road because I went through some stuff before. And this is why I'm not altering. Sometimes you have to explain to them why you're that way. Like I told my husband, I'm not going to be second. I'm going to be first before your mom. I'm going to be first before your siblings. I'm going to be first before all that. And I had to explain to him because I was second or third or fourth too many times before and it didn't work. So now the only for me is first. And no, you're not going to call me these names or call me that name. I'll check him in a minute. But the same way I would check him, I allow him to check me because this thing is not a one-sided thing. So I want to know what you will allow, what you won't allow, and be okay with that. But these relationships where you allow little stuff like this, Piggy, to go on and on, what will happen if she gets pregnant and then gains a whole bunch of weight? And he calling her Piggy, and now she's insecure about her weight, and he's still calling her Piggy. That could be more detrimental. You stop this mess before it becomes a whole heap of mess. That's my thought.
And that's why we have to set our expectations and intentions from the beginning so that there are no issues down the line. And if there are issues, you can address them immediately. But you have to make your intentions and your expectations known from the get-go, because we can't be going along guessing what you're expecting from me in this relationship, because I'm going to fail every single time.
Now, Erin pointed this part out in a note. She said Devin wishes Nick had kept their nickname between them. I'm glad it's out in the open, because there's another thing. Too many times in marriages and relationships, we know something's hurting us, but we keep it within the relationship and we don't let it out. That it keeps hurting. It keeps hurting. It keeps hurting. Things like this need to be exposed and need to be talked about so that healing can take place or that the wrong can be removed.
Right.
So by her saying she wished she would have just kept it in with them is letting us know, what else are you hiding, Devin? What else do we not know? What else do your family not know? What else are you tolerating? Devin. And relationship, you can't do that. Don't tolerate. Take it from me. I went through a marriage, went through divorce. When I finally broke down and told my parents everything that was going on in that marriage, they were more upset with me than the person that was doing the things, because I did not say anything.
Gotcha.
So you got to speak up. You got to speak up and let your family and your force be your security for you and your comfort to help you get through that stuff. So no, don't just let him get away with that kind of stuff. I don't care how cute he think he is. There's always another one that's cuter.
Okay. Not at your expense, y'all. Not at your expense.
No. No. All right, Dustin, where are we going next?
We're going to I forgot the last 2 couples' names now.
Annalie and Clayton.
Annalie and Clayton. Yeah. I thought the mother when they moved into the new house. I thought the mother moved in with him, but it sounded like he didn't move in with them. They got a house uh close to him, but they didn't move in with it. So
Hey,
that is a very I need to correct myself on that one because the last one I said I thought they moved in together again, but they didn't do that. They they got a house between very close to them, and she's living in one house, and they're living in the private living quarters. And I think that is a plus for Clayton to realize that
that's right.
his mother needs to finally get out of the house. But I also think I also want to say something about the sister. When the
Please.
sister when the sister came on the tell all, I thought I'm kind of conflicted with this. I'm on each other's side here because
Mhm.
I felt bad for the sister because I felt where I could see where the sister is coming from with this whole situation with the mother and the family issues, and I felt bad for her because she she's being affected by it too.
I love it. Thank
Agreed.
you, Dustin. Thank you. Love that. Listen, Latoya said that's also in the Bible that your spouse is number one before anyone question mark. It's in my Bible. Jonathan, what's
Okay.
that book first? What's that book? Third Corinthians.
3rd Corinthians, yes, absolutely. 29 and 17, honey. That's it right there. Go to it right now.
All
Flip your pages,
all
honey.
56 chapters. All 56 chapters. I will tell you this though, for to answer that, Latoya. In 1 Timothy 3:11, it says, in the same way, the women are to be worthy of respect, not malicious talkers, but temperament and trustworthy in everything. And also it says different versions here in the Bible regarding wife. You can go to the book of Proverbs. There's a lot in Titus. There's some stuff, some conversations as well. Colossians, Ephesians, there's a whole bunch other stuff. It says a whole bunch of stuff about wives and loving. But in my book, in my Bible, in my house, I'm number one. I'm
Okay,
number one.
I heard
Yeah, and
that.
that's from cover to cover. That's on the front of the book engraved, and it's also in the back there after Revelation in my book. So,
Okay, right after Revelation, right after.
right after Revelation, and it's in the Apocrypha. It's there too. Aaron, I'm gonna come on down to you with these two, Annalie and Clayton. What's your thoughts? And I see Mom's not in the house now. Mom down the street somewhere. Okay.
Yes, she is.
I think finally we got an answer to why Annalise wasn't showing affection during the season and why she didn't tell her father and why it was a secret because she was afraid she wouldn't be able to come be with Clayton. And I thought that answered everything of why, when she got here, maybe she was uncomfortable because that's a big thing to carry on yourself. The fact that you are not telling your father may be a lot of pressure. And as a woman, when we feel pressure and that kind of amount of stress, we don't always want to feel intimacy and stuff like that. So for me, I got the answer I was looking for. What is she hiding all season? And she was afraid she wasn't going to be with Clayton. She said it straight out. And I disagreed with the sister who said all these other couples are all cuddly and stuff. I may not be that person that would be cuddly on the couch because I'm just not that person.
Mm-hmm.
And so I thought the way Annalise said it, that's not who she is in general. So
Yeah,
Right.
in front of people, privately, yeah, she can be more close and cuddly and stuff like that, but she's not comfortable in front of anyone. So why would she do it on television if she's not comfortable in public being affectionate towards anyone? And it wasn't just him, that's just who she is. And that's
Mm-hmm.
okay. It's okay to be you.
It's
yeah.
okay to be you and be happy with being you, girl. You are absolutely right. Latoya, I put a verse in there. Latoya is still asking about this marriage thing. So she said, I'm not even married and I will always be number one. Also, is that okay in the Bible? Also, listen, girl, I put a verse in here for you because you know I will pull up a verse. Matthew 19:5-6. It
Okay,
says, therefore, a man shall leave his father and his mother and hold fast to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. So they are no longer two, but one flesh. Now you go ahead and you put yourself last, you're going to be putting your wife last because y'all are now one flesh.
right.
So where my husband put me first, I'm putting him first. We don't left mom and daddy now. And
It's just
we,
like me if I was ever to get if I was ever to get married, Regina, I wouldn't put myself last.
Right.
So
That's right.
heck no, I put myself first, and then I would
That's
put,
right.
yeah, I'm first, but I don't know if I might not ever, cause I don't want to deal with that. But I'm on, you never know what the future holds for anybody. So
You
No.
never know,
if I do get,
Dustin. You
if
never
I do
know.
ever get, if I do
Listen,
ever get married, I'm gonna be the first one, and I'm gonna take the leader. I'm not gonna have somebody else try to take my leader. No, I'm gonna take the leader.
ah,
I
ain't nothing
heard
wrong with
that.
that too. You better speak it into existence, Dustin. You better let
Yes.
them know. Listen, we ain't doing that. We ain't gonna be second. So Annalie and Clayton. I love that the mom's not there, and I hope they work it out. We got a few seconds more we could talk about. Did we talk about Sam and Citra? We didn't talk about Sam and Citra. We didn't
No,
even talk about Manuel, but we may have to cover Manuel them next week. Sam and Citrus, what happened with them, Dustin?
uh, they didn't get. He got lucky. He didn't have to go to jail. Uh, he got in the program, and I was so happy for that. I hope he stays on the right track for that. I hope he does. I hope he stays on the right track. I see I see a lot of good stuff for them, and she is also pregnant, so we're gonna give her uh, congratulations to the pregnancy. I hope everything goes well for them, and I hope that they stay together. But they did reveal that Sam and sister Sam has. We didn't know this, Regina. Now
Mm-hmm.
Sam has a Leslie cheated on him. I'm gonna say
Mm-hmm.
Leslie cheated, but we didn't know that. See what I
Yeah.
mean? When we get to the tell all the stuff comes out. See
Hmm.
what they do, what TLC does in open network does is Bravo, everything. They don't they don't put all the stuff out during the season because they wouldn't let you watch your whole
No,
season and they want you to get to the whole tell all. So,
I
so I
know.
didn't I didn't know that he allegedly cheated on her with another women, and he's
Mm-hmm.
gonna have to get some therapy, and she's gonna have to go too. And if she gets a lot of if they both get therapy, I see it lasting. But if this continues on, I'm gonna give it a year.
Well, there you go. And there it is. There it is. All right. Aaron, real quick, what's your thought on Citra, Sam and Citra? And then I'm gonna come real quick over to Jonathan.
They're still my favorite couple. I love that Sam manned up and told the truth because even when she was like confused about it, he's like, "No, I cheated. I cheated."
Hmm.
It was before they actually had physically met in person, even though they were in a committed relationship. He said
Hmm.
when she said she completely trusts him because they've earned the trust back, and she's not going backwards. She's not going to look back. They've already moved
Right.
on. I loved it.
Kudos to her. Kudos to her. Listen, that's how you do it, Citra. That's how you do it. She's like, I got this man now. We ain't going backwards. We're not going backwards. Jonathan, your thoughts?
Right. Now I was confused about Citra saying that she didn't understand that they'd actually had sex. And I do believe Sam when he told her that when he revealed to her the whole thing, that he told her that they had sex. So I'm thinking that maybe she just might have forgotten that, or maybe she just didn't put it together, or whatever the case may be. But Sam doesn't come across to me as someone who might lie. He may, drop the ball here and there, but it doesn't seem like much of a liar to me. So I do appreciate Sam speaking his truth. I do appreciate him telling the truth. So I
Yes.
appreciate that. And I do see them. They are my favorite couple as well, Aaron. And so I just hope the best for them. And I want to speak really quickly on Clayton and Annalie. I
Yes.
do believe that Clayton's sister was valid in every point that she had, as well
Mhm.
as Citra not being the affectionate type. However, the issue with that is I see Clayton as the affectionate type. And so, because I see him as that type, and to see him not getting that from Annalie, that's just a little bit of a disappointment in that way. And I have to say, Rob and Sophie look like the most conjoined couple on that whole stage. Like they were
Mm.
sitting so close together. Rob had Sophie so close to him. Like that really, really surprised me. That like they look like an actually good couple on that stage. But that's the conundrum with Clayton and Annalie, but they do their relationship the way that they want to do it. So if Clayton's going to accept the fact that he's not going to get this affection, at least on camera, and he's okay with that, well, then I have to be okay with that as well. And I understand the sisters' issues, and I would probably have those same exact issues because I've been saying this all season long. Annalie doesn't seem like she's interested in Clayton. So I'm thinking that the sister is seeing the same thing that we're seeing. So her issues are completely valid. But again, if that's the way that Annalie does relationships and Clayton accepts that, then we have to accept that as well.
That's right. That's right. I love it. Well, you guys, this has been our recap of 90 Day Fiance. Love it. Thank y'all. We're here every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to recap 90 Day Fiance. Now, there are some new shows that are going to be coming out because this is a tell-all. We'll be letting you know what those other shows are. Just look for that.
We got Happily Ever After starting next Monday.
And we've got some other stuff coming out too. So just click that notification bell on our YouTube channel to be reminded when we go live to see which program we're going to be talking about. Jonathan and I are getting ready to also start our review on Summer House Martha's Vineyard.
Yes.
Oh, I can't wait for that show to begin.
That's going to be so good. Yeah, you like that one. Latoya said this in the comment real quick before we head out. She said, my whole father's side of my family was raised in the church. They are all active members on the board in their churches. I'm so happy for them all. Yeah, come on, girl. I love it.
Right.
I love it. They've been put them wives first.
Come on, seniority. Okay.
So
thank you for sharing, Latoya. Go ahead, Dustin, and then we'll close out.
I do want to make for sure everybody has Sunday. We're gonna watch the first episode of season 8, episode 1, Happily Ever After, so we can recover it on Monday. So everybody needs to start watching Happily Ever After this Sunday.
Okay.
It takes 90 Day Fiance play. So next Monday we do have a new show called Happily Ever After. We have mostly new couples except for one. The rest of them are all new couples except for Michael and Angela.
Okay.
Gotcha.
All right, those two. Lord have mercy. Michael's been found. Michael's been found. All right, y'all. This has been our recap of 90 Day Fiance. We'll be back here next week. Thank y'all for joining. You guys on the count of 3. We're going to get out of here. Y'all ready, team? 1, 2, 3. Good night, everyone. See you next week.